Brachio Niffler. Ah! Oh! Ah! Ah! It's not a niffler! Ah! Welcome to Durbania. I'm Durbin, and this is my spoiler-free review for Fantastic Beasts and the Crimes of Grindelwald. At long last, we have arrived here. My wife and I doing all these Potterverse movie reviews, building on up to this, and at last, we are here! So how was it? Was it good? Was it terrible? What did you think? Let's talk about it in the comments. As for me, I thought it was good, and I had a lot of fun watching this one on the big screen. I had more fun watching this than I thought I was going to have, and I think it's because my expectations were tempered a little bit, because I didn't hate the first Fantastic Beasts, but didn't absolutely love it either. I mean, it's a fun movie. I had fun watching it again for the theological analysis in the last review my wife Laura and I did, but, you know, was never, like, in love with that movie. So my expectations were kind of tempered, but I did have those things I was excited to see. I was excited to see Johnny Depp in the role of Grindelwald, to see what is that going to bring to the film. I was excited to see Jude Law's take on Dumbledore, and what was that going to bring to the film. And are we going to dive more into Newt? Like, is he going to be somebody that I can connect with more? So first off, Newt. I do feel like I got to connect with him a little bit better in this one than I did in the first movie. Part of that could have just been different expectations. Like, I really wasn't expecting to connect with him. I was always expecting his head to be down and him talking really quietly, and I got a ton of that. But I also feel like there were other scenes in this movie, like, for instance, where Newt and Jacob were hanging out and talking, and Newt was talking about the love of his life, Tina, and oh, what can he say to her, and all that stuff. And there were just those scenes that were actually really funny dialogue between him and Jacob. Of course, I mean, I think I love every scene Jacob is in. That dude still remains my favorite character in the Fantastic Beasts franchise, even through this movie. But I feel like those type of conversations between Newt and Jacob and stuff like that kind of opened the character up to me. We got to meet Newt's brother in this one, and so that kind of opened the character like another layer deep. I mean, I still feel like he's disconnected, but that's part of his character. Part of his character is his, you know, he's not good at relating with people, but he's good at relating with animals, and so that's kind of where he's at. And so, I don't know, maybe it's because my expectation was in the right place with this character this time, or maybe it was because in this movie, they did kind of crack him open just a little bit more, and it feels like you connect with him a little bit more, but I felt like I had a better connection with him this time. I did like Jude Law as Dumbledore. If I was to rank the Dumbledores, Richard Harris would be my #1, with Jude Law coming in at #2. I just felt like he was a really good middle ground between the Dumbledores, and he did a pretty good job in the role. And so him and Grindelwald, it's kind of interesting as they dug a little bit more into that history. And so, I mean, I don't know how much I can actually say here without dropping spoilers, so I'm not going to say much here, other than it's like, okay, so you can't move against Grindelwald. I mean, we get that line in the trailer. Why can't you move against Grindelwald? So the way they actually dealt with the why, I thought was pretty interesting in this movie. And now I'm curious to see, as the franchise goes forward, how are we going to deal with that, and how are we going to move on with that? So that is kind of interesting to me, and I thought that was well done. And what I liked about having Johnny Depp as Grindelwald this time is now we actually have a villain. Yeah, we had Graves last time, but I mean, that was Grindelwald in disguise, so we didn't really get, you know, Grindelwald time, and finally, you know, the unveiling at the end, kind of like the Scooby-Doo bunch captures the monster, they rip off the mask, and that's just kind of it. Now, this time we really got, like, FaceTime with Grindelwald. We got to meet our enemy, and we got to know him. And something my wife Laura pointed out to me is, you know, you gotta continue to up it, especially because the Harry Potter series, it's about kids in school. Now, this is about adults in the wizarding world. It's gotta have that good, lighthearted fun, but it's also got to up the stakes a bit more, and it's got to have a bit more of that dark and grit to it because, well, these are grown-ups now. These are grown-ups in the wizarding world, and this is Grindelwald, who is like a really evil dude, and I thought Johnny Depp did a pretty darn good job in the role, and I really actually liked having a villain with a face in this one. Having a villain doing everything that he can to bring more wizards to his side and listening to his seductive speech. And I'm listening to it, I'm like, wow, why do the wizards hide? But this guy's evil, and he just wants to conquer everybody. So maybe we should ask the question in a better environment where this evil dude is not sitting here trying to elicit all kinds of crazy stuff going on. But it was really cool to, like, actually have a villain in this movie. It added a dynamic that the first movie didn't have for me, and I really did enjoy that. Credence was a great character, the way they brought him back, what they did with him, and this is the thing I can talk the least about because I cannot spoil a single thing. All I can say is okay, I'm curious. I'm curious where things are going to go. So I feel like the second movie overall did what it needed to do. It needed to hook me in deeper. Like, there's 2 out now, so 3 more movies coming out to make a grand total of 5. And this one really needed to get me more invested, so I'd be more interested in that stuff. I think this one did it. I think this one grabbed me and got me more invested. They did a great job with the magical creatures, a lot of fun stuff with the Niffler and a few new animals. They didn't overdo it with the magical beast. They just introduced us with a few new ones and brought back some of our favorites, and I feel like they did a good job with that. All in all, I'm going to give this one a B+, because I feel like I could own this one. I'm not in a hurry to go see it again on the big screen. Like, if a friend asked me tomorrow, though, if I wanted to see it again, I'd say, yeah, sure, because it was a good time. So, yeah, I'd go see it again, and this kind of made me, like, want to add it to my Potterverse collection. I don't even own the first one yet, so that kind of means I'd have to buy that one now. Huh. But yeah, this makes me want to have that and put that in my collection. So that's a step in the right direction for me. So I enjoyed this one. I think you'll enjoy it this weekend. So, are you a fan of these Fantastic Beasts movies? Are you looking forward to this one? Let's talk about that in the comments. And while you're there, hit the subscribe button to become a Durbanian. Hit the bell by the subscribe button so you're notified for my next movie review, trailer reaction, theological analysis, ranking video, or anything else I do here. I'm Durbin. Thanks for checking out Durbanian.